Hi YouTube, how's everybody doing? Okay, this video is going to be a continuance of the worst mistake that I made with my van. This is basically going to be about the surprises that I had waiting for me when the van arrived. So what happened is I'm in California. I had the van shipped from Maryland. Okay, the owner of the van told me that he went through a divorce with his wife. He's getting rid of the van. The van's in Maryland. If you look at the previous video, you'll see that the van is sitting in a field and the top is popped open. And basically, like I told you, I bought it without seeing it first. So some of the nasty surprises that I found. Okay, the van's sitting in that field with the pop top up. What happened is that pop top was up for I have no clue how long. Basically, all the elements were able to enter into the van. Rain, animals, who knows what. So inside the van, basically it was covered in a layer of dirt. Like, these seats are gray. They were basically like black. Everything was black. The back seat, the front seat, all of that. I'm sorry that I don't have video or pictures. I didn't know that I was going to be doing YouTube at the time. This is over 9 years ago. So also, another surprise that I had, and this is pretty disgusting, is this air conditioning that's in the back. When I got it to my mechanic, he turned on the AC up front here, and what happened is all this confetti came flying out of the back to the front. And what it is mice had nested inside the van, and this whole air conditioning area was full of all this confetti, and it's all over the van. And my mechanic just started to laugh. I mean, it was kind of funny, but at the same time, it was embarrassing. And then also in the pop top, I had to replace the cushion that's in the pop top because it had rodent urine and rodent poop, and I just had to throw it away. And basically, I had to scrub down the whole van and disinfect it because of all the rodent poop and all the rodent pee. And then, of course, I had to deep clean all the seats, all the interior. It took me 2 weeks. At the time, I owned a commercial cleaning business. So basically, I had all the chemicals and clean equipment that I needed. So my van was over at the mechanic shop, and that's what I would do each day when I had time. I would go clean this thing for 2 weeks. That's funny because when the van first arrived, my mechanic was shaking his head. He's like, "Are you sure this is the vehicle you want to use for the conversion? I wouldn't use it. The thing looks horrible." But the thing is I was extremely motivated to get this thing done because I guess I watched too much Velocity, and I watched all the shows where they restore vehicles. So that just gave me inspiration to be able to do this. I saw the potential of this vehicle. Now, another surprise that I need to add is that this center section, the floor panel right here, it was partially rusted out. So I actually had to go to a salvage yard and get a donor vehicle, a donor Vanagon, and have that center section, part of it, not the whole thing, just part of it, welded in to replace that because it was partially rusted through. Now, another thing moving around the van is over on this side, the lower panel, that had rust, and the rust had went through, not a large section, just a minor section. Anyways, that had to be cut out and had to be replaced. So those were some of the surprises that I had awaiting me. Like I said, I did all the cleaning, all the cosmetic basically, those were the things I did in the interior. And when I finished with the interior, my mechanic was shocked. He couldn't believe it was the same vehicle. So it just shows you what you can do if you're going to put in all the hard work, and you can turn a vehicle around. Of course, I should also mention the fridge didn't work. I replaced that. But you can turn a vehicle around. It is possible. It's going to take time. It's going to take money. But it was a worthwhile project. I wish I'd known about some of those issues beforehand, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have bought the van, not, you know, having seen it in person. If I'd known were those issues, I'm not exactly sure if the guy was trying to cover it up, or he just hadn't seen the van in such a long time that it had changed so much. Another thing that I should add is, what was sad is when I was cleaning the van, I found a card that a child had written to his or her mother and father saying, "I love you so much, mommy and daddy." And it appeared like they were on some sort of trip or vacation. And of course, like I said, the husband and wife were no longer together. They were divorced. Oh, one more thing that happened that made my mechanic laugh and shake his head. I almost forgot to mention this. So my windows did not work. The regulators had to be replaced. So when he went to the passenger side door and popped off this panel, water came flowing out of this door like somebody had busted a 60-gallon aquarium. Water was just all over. The only thing that was missing was a fish. So those were some of the surprises that were awaiting me. Anyone who sees my van today, they can't even imagine that was the condition it was in. It took a lot of cleaning on my part, a lot of work by the mechanic. But like I said, in the end, it turned out well. I replaced the tent, of course. That had to be thrown away. It had a huge tear. That's how all the elements got in. But if you're willing, of course, to put in the work yourself and also have a really good mechanic, you know, anything is possible. So those were some of the surprises that were awaiting me. And like I said in the first video, I learned my lesson. I never buy anything anymore without seeing it or having somebody inspect it for me. For the most part, on my end, it turned out okay. Like I said, in the first video, the van could have not existed. So thanks for listening to my story. Once again, Jeff shares stuff. I hope you learned something from the video. I definitely learned from my experience. So once again, I hope you'll like and subscribe, and I'll talk with you soon, YouTube. Have a great evening.